In the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, where the horizon blurred into an endless canvas of blue, the USS Horizon cut through the waves like a silent predator. Captain Alara Thorne stood on the bridge, her emerald eyes scanning the radar screens that flickered with ominous blips. At 38, Alara was a vision of quiet strength, her raven hair tied back in a neat bun, her uniform crisp and unyielding. She had risen through the ranks not by force, but by an unshakable resolve forged in the fires of loss. Her husband, Lieutenant Marcus Thorne, had perished in a similar mission years ago, leaving her with their daughter, little Sophia, whose laughter echoed in Alara's dreams like a distant melody. Beside her was Lieutenant Commander Aidan Blackwood, a man whose name evoked the mystery of ancient forests, tall and broad-shouldered, with stormy gray eyes and a jawline chiseled by the sea's relentless trials. Aidan was her second-in-command and unspoken confidant. He had joined the Navy to escape a fractured past, a family torn by war's invisible scars. "Captain," he said softly, his voice a steady anchor in the tension-filled air. "Intel confirms the enemy fleet is closing in. Orders from command, prepare for engagement." Alara nodded, her heart a turbulent sea within. The mission was classified, intercept, a rogue nation's armada threatening international waters. But for her, it was personal. Sophia, now 10, had drawn a picture before. Alara's deployment, a warship with missiles like shooting stars, and a note that read, "Mommy, make the world safe." How could she explain to a child that safety came at the cost of lives? As the crew bustled below decks, Alara felt the weight of command pressing down. The missiles in the launchers weren't just weapons. They were harbingers of destruction, each one a potential end to someone's story. Down in the engineering bay, Ensign Lila Evergreen worked tirelessly. With her golden curls escaping, her cap and freckles dusting, her cheeks like stars on a summer night. Lila was the youngest on board at 24. Her name suited her, ever hopeful, ever growing. She had enlisted to honor her late father, a veteran whose tales of valor had ignited her passion. "Systems check complete," she radioed up, her voice bright despite the gravity. But in quiet moments, Lila whispered prayers for peace, her fingers tracing a locket with her mother's photo. As dusk painted the sky in hues of crimson and gold, the alarm blared. Enemy vessels on the horizon. Alara's hand hovered over the console. "All hands to battle stations," she commanded, her voice steady. Aidan met her gaze, a silent promise passing between them. They would see this through. The warship hummed with energy, missiles primed. In that moment, the ocean held its breath, waiting for the storm to break. The first salvo shattered the night. Missiles streaked from the USS Horizon's launchers, trails of fire etching paths across the starlit sky. Alara watched from the bridge, her pulse thundering like the engines below. Each launch was a calculated strike, guided by precision that belied the chaos it unleashed. "Direct hit on lead destroyer," Aidan reported, his face illuminated by the glow of monitors. But victory tasted bitter. Radar showed incoming fire, and the ship rocked as countermeasures flared. In the midst of the frenzy, memories flooded Alara. She recalled Marcus's last words over a crackling radio. "Come home to us, love." He never did. Now, as explosions lit the distant horizon like fireworks gone mad, she wondered if Sophia would face the same void. Evasive maneuvers, she barked, steering the vessel through a hail of debris. Aidan was at her side, his presence a shield against the doubt creeping in. "We've got this, Captain," he said, his hand brushing hers in a fleeting touch that spoke volumes unspoken. Below, Lila clung to her station as the ship pitched. Alarms wailed and sparks flew from a damaged panel. "Hull integrity at 80%, she shouted into her comms. Her mind raced to her mother, alone in a quiet coastal town waiting for news. Lila had promised her adventures, not this inferno. With deft hands, she rerouted power, her freckled face smeared with sweat. In that crucible, she found a resilience she never knew, repairing not just circuits, but the fraying threads of her own courage. The battle raged on, a symphony of destruction. Missiles crossed paths in the air, some intercepted, others finding their marks. Alara's orders were flawless, but each one carved a scar on her soul. Aidan, ever the strategist, anticipated the enemy's feints, his gray eyes sharp as daggers. Yet in a lull between launches, he confessed, "I joined to fight for something bigger. But now, it's about the people here." Alara nodded, feeling the pull of connection amid the carnage. The crew wasn't just sailors. They were a family bound by shared peril. As the enemy fleet faltered, a final desperate assault came, a torpedo slicing through the waves. The horizon shuddered violently, water breaching a compartment. Lila raced to seal it, her heart pounding. "I won't let us sink," she vowed, pumping out the flood. Up top, Ilara authorized the decisive strike, a barrage that silenced the threats. The ocean fell quiet, save for the creak of metal and the distant crackle of fires. But triumph was laced with sorrow. Lives lost on both sides, echoes of humanity extinguished. Dawn broke over the battered sea, casting a golden light on the USS Horizon as it limped toward safe waters. Smoke trailed from the horizon where the enemy armada lay in ruins, a testament to the missile's unforgiving power. Ilara stood on the deck, the wind whipping her hair free, carrying the salt of tears unshed. The mission was a success. Threat neutralized, lives saved on distant shores. But at what cost? Reports trickled in. Minor casualties aboard, but each name was a wound. Aiden approached, his uniform torn, a bandage on his arm. "We did it," he said, his voice hoarse. In the light of morning, his gray eyes held a softness she hadn't seen before. "Because of you." Ilara turned to him, the barriers of rank crumbling. "No, because of us all." Their hands met, not in duty but in the raw vulnerability of survival. In that touch, futures whispered, perhaps a life beyond the waves, where love could bloom without the shadow of war. Lila emerged from below, her locket clutched tightly. The repairs held. The ship would make it home. She joined them, her freckles standing out against pale skin, but her smile radiant. "Sophia's drawing came true, Captain. Shooting stars that saved the day." Ilara pulled her into a hug, a rare breach of protocol that felt like healing. The three stood together, a triad forged in fire. Ilara, the steadfast leader, Aiden, the quiet guardian, Lila, the hopeful spark. As the Horizon docked weeks later, Sophia ran into Ilara's arms on the pier, her picture clutched like a talisman. "You made it safe, Mommy." The child's innocence pierced Ilara's heart, a reminder that power wasn't in missiles but in the will to protect. Aiden watched from afar, his heart swelling with unspoken affection, while Lila phoned her mother, tears of relief flowing. The live action of that fateful night became legend in naval annals. But for them, it was a chapter of profound change. Ilara retired soon after, channeling her strength into advocacy for peace. Aiden followed, their bond blossoming into a love as deep as the ocean. Lila rose in ranks, her evergreen spirit inspiring new generations. In the end, the missiles launched not just destruction, but a ripple of hope, proving that even in war's grip, the human heart endures, powerful and unbroken.